Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are at week two, day one. We're going to be diving into 20 essential vocabularies as well as four idioms. And a quick reminder before we begin of the structure of our classes is that we read the vocabularies, then go into the more embellished presentation for the dissection and breaking down of the meanings, and for you to be able to provide meanings and examples from your own end and side so that things get better sunk in your brain. And then coming back to reading the passage and going to the matchings, then in that process, a lesson or a day gets covered, moving on to the second day and third and fourth within a recording. And after uploading the video, you're going to have additional materials so that everything will sync better. Okay, let's get right into it. Laconic, throng, intrepid, accost, reticent. All right. Now our first word. Laconic wata kambesh. The pronunciation, please repeat. Laconic. So the person can say a lot within a limited range of words. كمبيجي كي رامبيش بواتيك زور عليت يعني معنى زور قول. Using very few words. His reply was laconic. Sure. Generally, it is Cambesh, but Cambejic, but Kamiatani Manaki sort of Okay. Are you a laconic person? Or are you impressed by people who have a laconic character? Okay. And when you're answering, please do not just say yes or no. Give open-ended answers, right? And it is like you say, yes, I like people who are laconic. They say a lot within a short range, you can say. All right, the second is throng. Throng. The G is silent. Apora, aporeg khalki, like a huge crowd of people. It could be reporters, it could be newsmen, it could be any group of people that come together as a crowd and I don't know, doing something, an activity together. They're called a throng. Okay, and they're tightly packed. The crowd is not people having a dissonance. They're tightly packed, right? So a throng of fans waited at the concert doors. Have you ever seen a throng of, fans waiting outside of a stadium to see and take pictures and autographs from the players of the team, right? Or throngs of reporters trying to, interview a particular politician. Have you ever been to a throng? The third is intrepid. Repeat, intrepid. Although this is not a very usual orthodox word, it is unorthodox and it is not generally used in Kurdish spoken language. Only in books there these kinds of books are found. Hopefully, we're going to bring these Kurdish words as well into our day-to-day conversations because they're really pristine and native to our land. Okay, nabert, okay, brave, showing no fear of danger. The intrepid hiker climbed the steep cliff alone. Have you ever engaged in any intrepid activity that showed your valor and fearlessness and courage that called for these qualities from you? Like I could say when I was a kid, I used to go to mountains that were remote and I had to be intrepid for me to go with my little circle of friends on our own to a distant mountain that contained mine. It was a mine zone as well. So close to craziness. What about you? Have you ever showed moments of intrepidness that you became intrepid? Say yes, I became intrepid when, I saw a person being mistreated and so on. You can just pause it and give your own examples as we go along. It just takes a few seconds. Please do not postpone it. Accost, what approach. Okay. Accosting a particular person, a celebrity, a politician, an official, a person that you look up to, right? But not generally in a very polite manner. So it is accosting any boldly, sometimes aggressively, right? So a stranger accosted her on the sidewalk. So imagine she's walking on the sidewalk and there's this stranger coming very quickly and sort of aggressively accosting the girl. Okay. Have you ever been accosted by a total stranger out of nowhere and you were kind of shocked and maybe surprised and afraid? Then the fifth for the day is reticent. Okay, repeat after me. Reticent, as you know, T when generally when it comes between two vowels, it is pronounced as re. Calendar, right? The re there. We're gonna put it there. So reticent, reticent. Can do, reserved, right? People who are either because of being shy or being timid, they're not as vocal, they're not as talkative, they're not as open to express their feelings and ideas. So unwilling to speak or share feelings. He was reticent about his plans for the weekend. And a reticent person is a reserved person because they come to it. Mostly they're introverted ones. And there's beauties about it, right? Okay. Are you a reticent yourself? Do you have reticent friends around you? Say yes. I've maybe I have a few reticent people because you cannot have lots of reticent people around you because by definition they don't want to be around lots of people. Okay, now let's go to the idiom sword of Damocles. Sword of Damocles means any close danger. Imminent means close. It generally happens with presidents and kings and stuff. The example is very, very clear here. Although the president of the country seemed secure, he always believed that there was a sword of Damocles hanging over his head, right? Imagine at any moment he thought that he could be overthrown, his power would be relinquished, right? And taken away from him. So all the time the sword of Damocles was in the air. A coup d'etat could happen, right? These are the general concerns of the presidents and kings, right? They're all personal, ego-related concerns of being overthrown, being stabbed in the back, right? So they're always afraid of a sort of a Damocles, right? Of a potential danger, and not of the concerns of the subjects and the citizens and the people. Okay, let's go to read the passage and see the words in further context because that's how we learn words. Um, One very effective way to learn words. Let me just remove this tab. Okay, so let's read the passage. To the point, Calvin Coolidge, our 30th president, was named Silent Call by reporters because of his laconic speech, right? One Sunday after Mr. Coolidge had listened to an interminable sermon, a throng of newsmen gathered around him. You see, a throng, a tightly packed crowd. And then an intrepid reporter, very brave, accosted, what does it mean? The chief executive, Mr. President, we know that the sermon was on the topic of sin. What did the minister say? Minister doesn't mean a wazir, right? Here it means a religious figure, a top religious figure like a pope or like a pastor, an equivalent of our mullahs and imams. He was against it. The reticent Coolidge reply means the rather, reserved and quiet person whose name is Coolidge replied. All right, let's go to the matchings. Let's test your understanding. All right, laconic. You've got 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Expressing much in few words, as if you remember in the beginning, right? People who say a lot in few words. Throng. 1, 2, 3, 4. To crowd, yes. To crowd. You can use it as a verb. You say, the official was thronged by a lot of reporters. Okay. Or you can say a throng of reporters. Number three, here is A, but three, the third word is intrepid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brave. Accost. 1, 2, 3, 4. To approach, speak to. Okay, hopefully you got all the answers right. Reticent. What is left is the answer. Inclined to be reserved. People who are just keeping things for themselves, to themselves. Not in a negative, selfish way, but in a way that they would rather have things private than to publicize it. Okay, then we had the sort of Damocles. Let's go to the second day. And here we are. Here we are. The words. Furtive. You see the pronunciation? Felon. Plethora, hapless, irate. Okay. Now let us go to the dissecting beautifully the words, getting at the words. Right? Here we have the word furtive. Repeat after me. Furtive. Secretive. It doesn't mean secret, it means secretive. It is the adjectives. When something is done quietly or secretly to avoid being noticed. So she cast a furtive glance like this. You can see, just secretly as if nobody is aware, right? At the exit before slipping out. Okay, have you ever spoken to your friend furtively in a social gathering? You know, you just secretively trying to sneak in some information and exchange some information furtively. Have you ever been furtive with your friends? Obviously, all of us, right? So yeah, you can read it in chunks. You can use it in chunks. You can say, "I remember I gave a furtive glance to my friend to just sit properly," for example. Okay, in a social gathering, in a gathering. Now, the second word is felon. Felon, watatawan kar, a person who has committed a serious crime. Not only a normal criminal, but a felon is some serious dude, some serious felon. And a convict, you can say. So the verb is convict, and the person who is a felon, as a synonym, we have convict. Okay, the felon was released on parole after serving 5 years, so on supervision by the government, basically. And all right, have you ever seen felony happening right before your eyes? A serious crime that has taken place, a person being stabbed, somebody's wallet being stolen. You say, "Yes, I saw felony, the noun, once I was in the street and a person did this or that," right? So you can say, "I saw the felon running away." All right, plethora. Repeat after me. Plethora. What is zoru? Zabandi. Zoru zaband. Abundance, right? A very large or excessive amount of something. There's a plethora of options on the menu tonight. You want to eat or drink something on the menu. There's too much options going on for you. So you can say there's a plethora of options. I cannot know what to choose. I'm lost. Okay. Have you ever had a plethora of options in making a decision, right? It could be of any topic, right? Buying a car, probably if you're young and getting to the marriage phase of your life, a plethora of options, who to choose, right? Or what job to take on, what city to go, what department to study if you have gotten a very good grade in 12th grade. I don't know where to go, right? You have a plethora of options and use it. Hapless. It is not hopeless. It is rather hapless. A person who is unfortunate. Okay, so they're experiencing bad fortune. The hapless explorer got lost in the jungle, right? Have you ever been hapless in a situation where you felt sorry for yourself, you pitied yourself, right? Say, "I don't know what to do. Wherever I go, I get my head bumped into the wall, right? I'm so hapless." Nakbatum. Okay, irate. Repeat after me. Irate, very, very angry, showing a lot of anger. The irate driver hung for several minutes in traffic. He became so angry and incensed. He became irate. Okay, what makes you irate? It is not normal anger. It is super, super duper angry. Whatever it is, say, "This thing makes me irate." Let's go to the idiom Pyrrhic's victory, a too costly victory. It is a victory, but at the same time, not a victory because it costs you a lot, right? Imagine right now, imagine if the ferocious, animalistic, Zionist regime, let's say, or movement or government is supposedly winning or are victorious, but their global representation is so distorted because of their own doing that this is just a Pyrrhic victory, or any other force for that matter, that at the cost of victory, they have lost thousands and even millions of lives, right? Even if Hitler turned out to be victorious, he would have still been it would have still been a Pyrrhic victory, or Stalin, or the so-called other victories of other countries, right? You're going to conquer the country and kill millions, and or even millions of your own people, and you still consider yourself as victorious? No, it is just a Pyrrhic victory, too costly. So in heavy fighting, the troops managed to recapture the hill, but it could only be considered a Pyrrhic victory because of the significant loss of life. A lot of lives are already lost. So good luck with the victory that you so-called call it a victory. All right, let's go to the passage. All right. If I had the wings of an angel, casting a furtive glance over his shoulder like this, okay? The felon slipped out the main prison gate to be swallowed up in the British fog. A plethora of escapes, a huge number of escapes, from supposedly secure prisons embarrassed the hapless wardens. To compound the problems, remember the first week? Compound? Do you remember as making it worse? The officials were badgered, pestered by irate citizens who accused the guards of accepting bribes from convicts. Convicts, remember? Criminals, felons, right? Whose motto was, stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage. Okay, let's check your understanding here. Check it for yourself. You've got 4 seconds. Furtive, go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Secret, stealthy, generally secretive. Felon, what about that? 1, 2, 3, 4. A person guilty of a major crime. Plethora, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excess, hapless, 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunate, damo nakbate. Irate, what is left is A, angry, incensed. All right. Now let's go to the third day. Please follow up, persevere. I know you may get bored, and hopefully it is not that boring, but still maybe you're distracted by other things. Put your attention here and learn, and you can just get the job done, most of it, here right in the class. Week 2, day number 3. All right. Pretext, fabricate, adroit, gesticulate, vigilant. Here we are. Okay. All right, let's now move on with it. Pretext. What a piano. She used work as a pretext to skip the meeting. Many people do use pretexts in order to skip meetings, school, classes. There's a student saying, "Oh, I'm very sick. I want to go to the nurse." Well, the student is not that very sick. Everybody knows it. He also knows it, or she also knows it, right? But they want to give you this pretext so that they're going to skip the thing. Have you ever given a pretext to your teacher so that you would skip? Say that. Tell it to yourself. Go back to your memory of your childhood, possibly. All right, the other one is fabricate. Fabricate. To invent, to make up something false. He fabricated a story about being stuck in traffic. Yes, generally people get late, but owned it, right? You don't have to fabricate a story, right? Saying that, I don't know, my uncle died or something like this, right? All right, have you ever seen people fabricating like lies in broad daylight, right? So it was really, really obvious, but they still fabricated a story. Say, yes, that guy fabricated this and that. Then we have adroit, it's skillful, karama, adroit kasi karame. The adroit carpenter crafted a beautiful table. That is one of my, dreams to be adroit at, right? To become a good carpenter and to make things and craft things out of wood. It's very, very nostalgic to my soul somehow. Okay, adroit. Are you adroit in anything? You can say, I'm a droid in computer science. I'm a droid in designing, in coding, in drawing, in playing football, in playing tennis, or whatever you are a droid at. Say, I'm a droid at this thing. Okay, then we have gesticulate, but just okay, to use your hand or body movement to express an idea. So you can say, I gesticulated to my friend, but he didn't see me. So you either use your, hand or body limbs to gesture at your friend. So he gesticulated wildly to get the crowd's attention. Imagine you want to take attention of a crowd. You're saying, yes, I'm here, right? Something like that, right? It's another way to seek attention. Gesticulate. But just okay. Vigilant. Repeat after me. Vigilant, watchful. Zring kasiki zringbit. Okay. He's so vigilant that feels as though he has got an eye from behind his head, right? Are you that vigilant? Like that watchful? You notice things changing, right, in the air. So you're vigilant. Kasiki zrinku wuriait. Let's go to the idiom wet blanket. If a person is a wet blanket, it's somebody who spoils the fun. Imagine four friends are making jokes and one of them takes it seriously and personally and becomes a wet blanket, spoils the whole fun, right? Everyone wanted the party to go on, but Ronnie, the wet blanket, decided to go home to bed, right? So you say, okay, let's stay late into the night and have fun and stuff. And one person said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just sleep and just gonna become a wet blanket and ruins and spoils the mood. I know everybody has friends like that. Maybe you are, maybe I am in certain occasions, right? Okay, let's go to the passage. Here we are. Okay, yeah, it is above. Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Under the pretext of being a surgeon, he gained entry to the hospital. So he's not a surgeon, but under the pretext. When interviewed by the director, he had a fabricated tale of his medical experience, but he was so adroit at lying, skillful at lying, that he got away with it. It was not until the phony doctor began to gesticulate wildly, so using his hand in a wild manner, not in an adroit manner, with his scalpel, that a vigilant nurse was able to detect the fraud. Have you ever heard of the phrase fraud check? A person seems to be very strong, very good at something, but when that person is faced with a person who's better than that, that person gets a fraud check. He's not as it appears. So in the annals of medical history, do you remember? So in the annals of medical history, basically in the records of medical history, there have been, a number of such cases. All right, let's put more of your understanding to the test. Pretext, you've got 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. My seconds go faster than normal. Yes, it's an excuse. Fabricate. 1, 2, 3, 4. To lie, to construct a lie. Third, a droid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skillful. What about gesticulate? 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you got E as the correct option. Yes, to move the arms energetically. Vigilant. What is left is watchful. Okay, let's go to the last one. We've come very good thus far. Avid, cajole, rudimentary, enhance, nuance. All right, let's go to the meanings for a better apprehension and comprehension of the words. The electricity has gone out and it's super hot. Okay, so we have avid, enthusiastic, okay, they show a lot of interest or eagerness or enthusiasm in doing a particular thing, right? She is an avid gardener who spends every weekend tending her plants. So you can be an avid teacher who's very eager and enthusiastic about teaching. You could be an avid football player that your world is operating within the parameters of football. You can be an avid, I don't know, engineer, businessman, an avid housewife, whatever it is, the profession and the duty, you could be an avid of, right? So, what are you avid of? Or are you an avid person in any particular field, domain, right? Say, yes, I'm an avid, I don't know, coder, I'm an avid, player, whatever that you're good at. Not only good at, but you're enthusiastic, Bashopi. Okay, then we have cajole. It is not cajole, right? Right? It is cajole. واعترض كاتني كسك حابة نعرس خوي بوا يعني بنرمون يعني imagine a daughter comes to the father. Generally the daughter father dynamic works this way, right? The daughter smiles and wants to control the father to take her to, I don't know, to Tiger Town or to Chavilan or Parque Azadi. These are the places that generally kids go to in my city. So this is, a form of cajoling, right? He managed to cajole his friends into helping with the move, right? So he's moving to another house. He's trying to bribe the friends, inviting them somehow, and at the end, cajoling them to help him out. Okay. Have you ever cajoled one of your friend to come with you to bazaar to do something that is very hard you cannot do, but you don't want to directly say to them, "Come and help me"? You cajole them, right, in a gentle, indirect manner. Then we have rudimentary, the basics that okay? The course only covers rudimentary math skills. So we can have rudimentary English skills, rudimentary chemistry skills, whatever the field may be, we could have a rudimentary aspect of it. Okay, you can say, I only have a rudimentary base in my language. Okay, or I only have a rudimentary background in religion. Means it's the basics only. Then we have enhance, زيادة to improve, بروdan. The chef added fresh herbs to enhance the flavor of the soup. Have you ever enhanced the flavor and taste of any particular food that you're used to eating by adding something new to it to enhance its taste? Okay, then we have nuance. What is suka jawazi? Like a slight or delicate variation in meaning. Jawazi ki kam So you say there's a nuance. You remember the two words, laconic and reticent. There's this nuance difference. Suka jawazeke, right? She understood the nuance in his tone and knew that he wasn't joking. Imagine some people are very good at understanding the nuances of feelings, right? If your facial expressions change even a little bit, the person detects it as a metal detector, so to speak. So they can see the nuanced patterns of change happening of a particular person's facial expression. Um, okay, so subtlety, nuance. Okay, these are kind of rough synonyms. Then we have the last idiom. We're getting there. The stars align. So when the stars align means when an unexpected event takes place, right? So imagine the salary has been suspended for around 3 months, and when the stars align, they're going to distribute the salary, right? It is unexpected because of the corruption of the system of the government. It seemed the stars had aligned when Demetrius got his wish to play first violin in the orchestra. Okay. Hopefully there are unexpected good events coming your way and stars align, and this thing would happen to you. All right, now let's read the passage and wrap things up. As an avid football fan, I try to see every game the Jets play. Whenever I can cajole my father into accompanying me, I bet حاولهم accompanying me. Cajole means gently, indirectly convincing the father. I try to do so. He has only a rudimentary knowledge of the game, and since I'm steeped in it, do you remember steeped in the first week? Yeah, immersed in it, right? You're part of it. You have been flooded into it. I enjoy explaining its intricate details to him. It certainly does enhance your appreciation of football when you're aware of every nuance of the sport or every detail of the sport. From a lay observer, from an outside observer, a sport like football doesn't seem to be very engaging and animating. But for a football lover, he or she knows so many nuances that the sport has become an integral part of his or her life. Okay, let's get to the last activity. We've got 4 seconds. Avid. What is it? Avid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Eager. What about cajole? 1, two, three, four. Are you at a loss? It is to coax. To coax. Okay, to coax means to persuade somebody in an interesting, gentle, indirect way. Then we have rudimentary. Rudimentary, two, three, four. Elementary. Enhance, one, two, three, four. Intensify. Nuance is the last one. Yes, a slight variation meaning and tone. Okay, thank you so much for listening and following. I hope you got benefit out of it, and please follow the additional materials and stick to it. Have a great day.